Did you enjoy that out and about and among the people at a festival arena?
Yeah,
yeah.
I did. It was very new to me though, so I was very nervous.
I think you'd be perfectly shipped for Glastonbury, the mighty grandfather of all, to wander around with the microphone and with your BBC chums, you know. And so that experience for you then would have been the first time that you'd have been sort of a camera following you such around, and to get used to that being around you and having to move and look glamorous, I would say, all the time.
I planned those outfits for stand-up.
You must have been like a ninja. You must have been like, you know, I'm going to practice on the ground. I'm going to practice standing up. I'm going to practice, you know. You were immaculate. I think you're the only person in the whole festival that had got that splash muck effect, at least up to the knee. Now, could you explain to the audience how that was done? Had you got a magic sort of person that came out of nowhere and just cloaked you in an invisible cloak and took you to the next destination in a wheelbarrow or anything like that there?
I floated the whole time. I think...
Welcome to Small But Massive Podcast 3. Tonight we have Gemma Bradley, award-winning songwriter, BBC Radio, TV, online presenter, workshop facilitator and tutor. And I thought I couldn't get all that out in one breath, but I did.
Fair play to you, Paddy.
I think I'll actually take a wee break now, you know. And,
that's us done.
That's us done. Gemma, you are welcome. I should say at this stage, magnificent news for you just came in the other day. You are now the new presenter of BBC Radio 1 Hugh Stevens show. So I just wanted to say that, and I will bring it up, and there'll be stuff fall out of the sky like confetti.
The heavens will
open up. Come down and hail Gemma, the new Radio 1 BBC presenter. So look, thanks for coming anyway. And we've done a few now, and I should say at this stage that you are the total professional. I am just but the humble apprentice here. So at any stage, take over and start asking me questions.
I might flip it back around on you, Paddy.
Did you know this? So Gemma, what I will say, you're welcome. And so I'll take you back, way back to the early days from what I knew you. You know, you've been around the GQ for a lot of years, since you were really young. But just before you came to the mighty Draperstown, Ballinasgreen, you lived in Stoke-on-Trent.
Yes, I did.
And you and your mommy Patricia got on the boat, or maybe the plane.
I can't even remember. It was probably the boat.
Maybe you jumped out of the plane with two parachutes and then and landed on the boat and then took a last wee journey in the boat. Can you remember anything about the early days living in Stoke-on-Trent, or were you too young? Or
I remember bits and bobs from like primary school. I remember like playing Pokemon and horses and things like that with like friends, and I remember
like the horsey horse.
Yeah, you know, you'd grab onto the back of someone's jumper and they'd be the horse, like that. Yeah,
a strong back needed for that. There's me thinking you're just going to talk some kind of I went to Pam's horse retreat farm. Mommy put me in and jumped on the big horses.
No, the horse was a person.
old style games, brilliant stuff. And so you moved then over to the mighty Draperstown.
D-Town Massive.
D-Town Massive. And you were around 8 years of age that time?
Yeah, about 8.
So what was that like coming from Stoke-on-Trent, which would have been a completely different world, to landing in what some would say is in the middle of the valley, in the middle of wherever. But I know your mama is originally from the area. But what was that like for you coming in? And I suppose at that age you would have met friends in England, and you would have known, you know, going to school there and getting into all that as a young person, and then how to do that for Nathan.
Yeah.
That means movement, Nathan. So you moved then to St Mary's Primary School. What was that like then for you?
I mean, I was excited, you know, when we lived in England, we did come over and visit the family and stuff. So it was always an exciting time coming over and seeing everyone. And I remember before we did actually move over for proper, I had like a week in St Mary's, and I kind of got to make a couple of friends, and then I left for 2 weeks, and then we came back. And I already had friends because I'd made them that week. And I think because I was at primary school, it's quite easy for kids to connect and stuff and make friends at that age. So it was quite easy in the process. And, you know, I started playing sport and things like that, and obviously music too. And I just loved it. I thought it was great.
That's brilliant. And that's the way you wanted it, and just slither in and you had friends. So you went 2 weeks, like a wee sort of introduction, and then you bonded with a couple of friends.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're still friends with them people.
Yeah, I
to
am.
this day.
I actually live with one of those people up in Belfast at the moment.
It's a small world.
It is.
Would we like to give her a plug?
Of course, Shan Higgerty, PR, publicity relations, marketing. She'll love that.
Good relations, public relations. You need anything designed, who do we contact?
Shannon Higgerty.
Shannon Higgerty for all your needs out there in the media world. All you people want new design, new beauty. Shannon can bring it to you.
She can do everything.
Everything. Amazing. And that's what friendship's about. And I suppose, so then you came in, you love sport, obviously, because I remember earlier on you were all into camogie and running and all, anything to do with sport, you were there and you loved it. And you still would...
I go to the gym and things like that, yeah.
Is the gym a completely different thing than sort of, I'm going to wee run, where you imagine people going... you know, is it a different world? You know,
it definitely is. I mean, I feel like you have your different types of gym people. You know, you have the big lifters that will be like making those tennis noises when they're lifting weights, and you're like, whoa. Exactly like that.
And do they make it well?
Oh, they do, and it's very distracting if you're trying to like run on a treadmill or something. But
you listen to some beats and next thing you go, oh, in the background.
Exactly. You're like, I didn't know there was backing vocals in this. Like,
that's a brilliant sort of drop on there in that new tune there. You know, maybe it's an idea for a song.
It could be.
You know, and but I suppose that's something you'd always love, keeping fit, and that's good for mind, body, and spirit, and all that there, and keeps you right. And so, at the early days, you came in then, and you started learning guitar. I think your first tutor would have been Shay Toho.
My first tutor here would have been Shay, because I originally had started with Vincent in St Mary's.
Vincent McCusker.
Yeah, Vincent McCusker.
Legend of a man. A fantastic guitarist and a gentleman. And has fixed many guitars with many guitars, because he fixes it and all that now. He's a brilliant. And was a member of a band called Frupp way back, who released many albums back in the day. Maybe that's something...
I didn't actually know
there
that.
There you go. But... we learn something new every day. Look to the light and it'll give the answer. So then you came in and Shay was your tutor. And what's remarkable about that now is actually just a couple of weeks ago, you and Shay got together, didn't you? And
yes,
started
we had
working
a little writing session, which was very good.
Amazing. So it's a small... And so Shay would have been your tutor then. And after that, you were sort of, I suppose... I seen out there in the table, you know, the magic tables where we've got pictures of the past and they're skinned up and all. You're in one of them workshops as a wee ninja. And as I say, I suppose that shows how long you've been around here in a sense that you're in that picture. But them early workshops, I suppose, did you like the sort of style of them? It was the Rural Key, I suppose, workshops. And because I'm aware that at that time you were doing workshops with us, and then after that you were with Marty McGill and Marty's Hot House, and then you progressed on to the Scratch My Progress program run out of so that's a really good thing. I think that shows a network of organisations that are there for the artists from early days, maybe growth to us, to Marty's, and the Nerve to the where it's looking after the music industry side and the next level of artists where obviously you are now. But them early workshops, what did you enjoy about them as a young person? Or was it sort of, when did you know that ignite, you know, that wee spark just went, I'm going to do music and it's going to be so hard, but I'm going to do it and it's going to be cool. So when, you know, what was that like for you?
I think, you know, the very first kind of workshop that I attended here, it was here actually in the corn store as well. I must have been like 8 or 9. I'd only be playing guitar for a wee bit. And I was like showing a song I'd maybe written or something, and then we got together and had a bit of a jam session. There was also Marty McGill was actually at that one as well. He was helping out with some of recordings, and we were on GarageBand making wee ringtones. And I just minded mine one. It was like Marty was like, "Be quiet," and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna make this and just turn it into like the chorus." So I thought it was deadly. Wally was here teaching the drums. I felt really inspired by the whole thing. I remember I was like, "Mommy, I need a drum kit. I have to get a drum kit." I still have that drum kit. Bear in mind, I do not play the drums, but I still have that drum kit.
What was the reaction of Mommy when you said, "I'm going to get a drum kit"?
You can buy it.
And that reaction has made you stronger as a person.
100%.
And it made you what you are today.
Exactly.
So, and them early workshops, I suppose then when you were playing and give you that sort of first collaboration, I suppose you were seeing musicians, you were seeing people like Wally and Marty McGill, and like these are people then, back then. Marty was in Little Hooks. They released 2 albums, him and Rory O'Doherty. They were a fantastic band, and I think that sort of opportunity for young people to get involved in the early stages of what may or may not become their career path, but certainly they're in it for that moment of, we're loving it, and I suppose that kind of takes us in, I suppose, if we go to the Rural Key now, that's just been released recently. People will say, he always brings up the Rural Key. But what I'm going to say now and look straight down the camera is, if there's somebody out there who wants to sponsor the Rural Key for a continuous amount of years, Gemma, then I won't
You're
talk
not going to
about
say
it,
no.
even though the person in front of me might have been in it at one time or whatever. So, but I don't apologise for it, because actually what's good about it is you're proof of a great success story and of where you've got to and what your path has been like and what your journey's been like so far. It's credit to you. So with the Rural Key, people maybe would know you out there as a presenter and a songwriter, but they wouldn't know that you've give your time also to young artists. Like, you've sort of switched the bits around, and you're the one that the young ones are looking up to, going, oh my God, she's helped me write a song, Gemma. So you work with Kushla, and you wrote a song along with them, and it's gone down really well in the Rural New Beginnings.
Yeah,
the name
New
of the
Beginnings,
song.
yeah.
How was it writing a song with, I suppose, 3 pretty young people, like at the time, all under 10, I think, when the process started?
I mean, it was a lovely experience for me. I remember the first day we were in the room and I was like, right, girls, what do you want to write about? And they were like, oh, I don't know. And I was like, well, let's go. Like, what do you like? What have you been doing recently? And it all kind of came back to school. And obviously, I think at the time it was kind of summertime, so they weren't in school, but they were talking about going into a new year. And I was like, well, what do you look forward to going into a new year? So we made a mind map, because I love a good mind map.
Do you like a mind map?
We love a mind map.
It's just like, is that because you're in rooms at all the time and it's just the mind map kings there?
Do you know
showing
what?
all of it. It is. Throw it over the right there.
You have to, stick the idea down on the page. It might not make sense, but it also might.
It's putting the wee seed, watering it, and then it begins. Yeah.
Exactly.
So and how did that process go for the young people?
Yeah, so it went well. Like I say, we kind of stuck to the topic of school and coming back to school, entering a new year. What do they look forward to? What's maybe scary or because kids, they do feel anxious, and it's good to, I guess, voice those as well. So
yeah.
We did that too.
That was brilliant. You gave a great opportunity then for what they actually were thinking themselves and put it out there.
Because I wanted them to put their voices into the song and their emotions and feelings about going back to school at a new year. So that's kind of how that evolved. And then we got talking about some chords. I would play a chord and I was like, do you like this chord? Let me know. What about this and this? And they'd be like, absolutely not, Gemma. Absolutely not.
Did they do the diva on you? Did they?
They went full diva.
Full diva.
I'm only joking.
That height there, these small diva.
Have to watch them.
You're sort of looking like, where are they out there? Where's all these wee divas? And they're all looking down. You will not be having it, Gemma. And how did that go? Like, was that a shock to you? You would like that, because that's probably them trying to test, get the best maybe out of them.
Yeah, no, exactly. But no, they're the loveliest girls ever. And, it was good because I wanted to give them, as well, their creative license to say, no, I don't like that E minor chord, or let's maybe use this word instead, because I wanted them to be really involved. It's their song,
Yeah.
So I just thought it was really important to give them that opportunity, and I guess it blossomed from there.
And were you yourself, did it give you a wee sort of a wee, at the other side, being part of that, writing that song with them? I think it sort of was you coming full circle.
Yeah, it's that 360 moment. When we had the song kind of finished, I was like, oh, this is wild cute.
Yeah. And I think people were emotional to the song, from the feedback coming back. And I suppose you could hear that in their voices. And, and then not only themselves, you were also a mentor to young Dara McNichol. Dara, who got to the final of the Voice Kids, and I know he's someone that wants to sing, and he wants to sing a lot, and he is, I think, through your mentoring, gained good confidence. I would say, because people need to realise that he just didn't pop in that stage. It's through mentoring like good people like yourself, and credit to you.
Thank you.
Because it's really important, because sometimes things can look as if people have been doing it for years and years.
Yeah.
But it takes, I remember even in the early stages when you were mentoring in the Rural Key, remember there was a wee showcase out the front?
Yeah.
And you got the young girls together that first gig. Like,
Yeah.
and I mean, they thought this is Wembley. Do you know,
Well, to them it is
it
Wembley.
is,
yeah.
but it's that first gig, isn't it, Gemma? So it's like that sort of, wherever you're at in your first gig, you know, you're standing there and it's the biggest thing ever. And you could see it in their faces, and you could see that you know, the adrenaline was being pumped. But the fact is, they were able to do that showcase. And then we were able to do the showcase off the Rural Key just before lockdown happened, and before sort of everything became different for the entertainment industry, and where we are and where we were then and where we are now and where are we going in the future. For yourself, being a songwriter now, what's it like in that world as such, trying to write and trying to get stuff out and all that's going with it, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's definitely very different to what we're all used to, I think. At the start of lockdown, obviously, you were like, oh, Dad, like 3 weeks, get to chill, you know, watch a couple of movies. But then as it progressed, you were like, oh, you felt a lot of pressure to be doing something, to be really writing, honing in on your craft, because this is what you saw a lot of on social media. And I'm baking banana bread also.
You like cooking, don't you?
I do. Yeah, I do. You know, I haven't tried a banana bread now, but maybe in the future, we never know.
Yeah, well, it's one of the ones they say is popular, the banana bread.
Yeah.
You know? So what would your you know, if you were going to cook something, what would you think? This is my favorite meal.
Oh, that's a tough one. One that I will say that I started over lockdown was been doing like a salty chili chicken fake away, because obviously couldn't go anywhere to eat whatever. But this is deadly, Paddy. You need to try it. I'm telling you now, it's a winner. It's better than the actual Chinese's salty chili chicken.
Salty chili chicken, that's the one, Gemma.
Yeah,
if I had one of them wee bubbles, you know, bing up there, you know, salty chili chicken. Everyone should sign up now.
Exactly.
Phone the number. I'd actually get my phone here now. If I got a number, 8852525 salty chicken. You better watch, because maybe somebody will make it and get you to sponsor it.
Oh, I hear you. Never know. It's not, to be fair, it's not my recipe. Can't be calling claims to it, but fantastic recipe.
And what would be one of them meals, like, you know, we've all had them, right? We've all went places, you know, that we've maybe had something put in front of us, and that you think, I'm going to be pushed fast here and hard to eat this. You know, it could be one of them moments, you know, how far am I away from the house, the toilet, whatever's in my head. You know, have you ever had any mixtures, you know, that you just think, people say this is lovely.
Yeah.
And then you get to the moment where you go to try it, and then what happens?
Yeah, I mean, you can be fooled, because obviously everyone has different taste buds, but a time that sticks out to me as deviled eggs.
What do you call them again?
Deviled eggs, I
deviled
think.
Eggs.
They're either deviled or divelled. I'm not too sure.
The deviled egg sounds like, it nearly sounds like a real monstrous egg.
It sounds very edgy, doesn't it? It's
Devil's
an edgy egg.
Whoop them thorns up there, boy. Devil's eggs, all right. So, and how do you make these devil's eggs?
Well, basically, to my understanding, it is a boiled egg, and you scoop the middle out, the yolk, and then you mix it up with like some cheese and some mayonnaise. Now, I didn't know that there was mayonnaise in that. I do not like mayonnaise. Just me and mayonnaise do not go well together. But basically,
you fell out with each other, did you?
We had a fight.
Were you drinking alcohol at the time? No, and you
wasn't even.
Was it when you just at a very young age you said, I have that thing with tomatoes. No way.
Yeah, it's just not happening.
It's not happening.
So, that happened.
Tell the world how we make it. So we make it. So we've got the.
Yeah, so we've boiled our egg. We've scooped out the yolk.
Show us how to do it.
We've popped the yolk into the bowl. Bit of cheese, bit of mayo, and then you skip that back out.
Skip it back out. Look at it. Do you look at it, smell or anything?
I mean,
can you do that one we put in the head? No, it won't.
No, I wouldn't recommend the head test.
That's the bacon one, right?
So you've got that. You've got it in the bowl. Take a wee scoop. Put it back in where the yolk was, so you're just replacing it, and obviously your egg's cut in half as well, so then 1 egg equals 2. So
sharing is good.
Sharing is good.
Sharing is beautiful.
Sharing is caring. Paddy.
Sharing is caring. Yeah. It's a heart-wrenching moment. Sharing is important.
Yeah. But if you do not like mayonnaise, do not eat deviled eggs, because they will not agree with you.
Would they say come straight through, or is it just ooh?
Oh no! It didn't even make it down, to be honest. One bite. bathroom, gone.
So if you were in a room sometime and there was these fancy sandwiches and you didn't know the devil's egg was in there,
no.
We just pray it never happens, right?
Fingers crossed anyway.
Fingers crossed. So when we'll go back to your performing in your younger days, so the likes of your first early performances would have been, I suppose, in the youth stage at Glasgowbury, and then if you jump on forward to the likes of Stendhal, Body and Soul, there's probably a whole load. Have you attended at this stage?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple. We did EP last year. Last year, yeah, we did Electric Picnic, which was great. It was one of those things. Again, you know, you set yourself a goal to perform somewhere and then you get to do it. The year before that, I got to perform at it with Soleil as well as Body and Soul with her. And then the year after that, I got to do it on my own merit. So it was very exciting. And I mean, that's one thing I love is festivals, and playing up at the festival as well at Glasgowbury. Those were the kind of gigs that shaped me as a musician, because it was just the buzz. I will never forget the last Glasgowbury and playing on the stage. I was so buzzing. It was great. It was deadly, and you know, you have your wee like freakouts before you go on stage, and then you get on.
Have you got wee moments, wee things you do? Have you got wee moments?
I actually don't. I drink a lot of water. I don't know why. Sometimes when I'm very nervous, I drink a lot of water, and that seems to calm me down.
No whiskey in it or anything like that?
No, absolutely not. It wouldn't be a good performance.
Would
if
you be a wine
whiskey.
drinker or a beer drinker or a spirit drinker? Or you don't maybe drink that much?
I mean, when the time comes, you know. Yeah. But I'm a bit of everything kind of drinker, you know. But have been getting into my red wine recently, so.
Well, you won a competition called Christy Hennessy, so there's no brandy involved, right?
No.
I
see what you did there. I like that.
I wasn't even thinking of it. So your first EP, Wicker Man, was in here.
Yes.
And you were supported by Men of Mountains, Dara Tohol's band, and Dara, he moved over to, I think, Brighton to study.
I feel like, was it Lipa? Is that Liverpool?
Yeah, that's right. That Paul McCartney school.
Paul McCartney school,
So he attended the Paul McCartney school, but let it be. So we'll let it be at that.
Yeah, we'll let it be.
We'll let it be. So help, need somebody. So the EP was launched, and it was a brilliant night, because I know Tierney filmed it all, and there was a wee short, and there was it was a great day running up to it, and everything about it was brilliant. And for you then, getting to that stage, like, because you had played many gigs, you know, and I'm sure, like, going back, what would have been your first gig? A school gig would have been your first, is it? Or
I think, well, I mean, I think my first gig, but it's not, I can't really call it a gig, was like singing at communion, you know.
Big time.
Mass.
Big time. You done the mass one?
I did I cover the mass gigs, you know.
Biggest community in the world, like. Nearly bigger than Facebook. Well, maybe not as big as Googler, but definitely they're up there with Facebook. And the EP came out, and I suppose that was your first EP out, and then I suppose that led you into sort of deciding yourself, because you've done it all. You've done a lot of stuff self-promotion, and your mammy helped you along the way, Patricia, as well, which is brilliant. And that's a great thing, and I'm sure anybody out there listening that's a young songwriter should take note on that you did do a lot of work yourself, and you still are doing a lot of work yourself. So whenever that came out, obviously you had the whole covering, the PR and getting it out there, and it got you a few more festivals, did it? Like it got maybe Stendhal after that?
Yeah, it did. Like I say, that time was crazy, you know. Obviously these songs that you've worked on, and then you're putting out a full body of work, and it was such a big thing. And at that showcase gig, it was fantastic, you know, because you never know when you're putting on a gig, you're like, don't know if people are going to come, what if they don't like it, you know. But it was such a fantastic night, and again, Men of Mountains were fantastic too. And I loved it, and like you say,
and so many young people in the room.
That's
I think that's important too, and I suppose that can't happen at the minute, but hopefully that will bring itself around again in some format. But going back to like 2013, the City of Culture year, you played. You done a song with Paddy Nash. It was Christy Hennessy songwriting competition, and like. you got the final then of
Yeah.
it, and then a few years later you entered again, and you actually won it yourself, which is that's a pretty good achievement, because he was a well-respected songwriter, you know, throughout Ireland, you know, and I think it's one of them competitions that is really well respected for actual songwriting, and so you got down, you got the final, and how's the buzz there?
Yeah.
Oh, you're just fantastic now. Were you fucking amazed? Were you? You're amazing, Gemma.
Yeah. No, it was again, it was a great experience. It was kind of nice because obviously having done it with Paddy all those years ago, you kind of know what to expect in a sense, or I had a feel for it then, and at that time I was like so inspired, so I was like, can't wait to come down here and be so inspired again. And we came down, we performed, and you know, sometimes because it technically is a competition, you do get a little bit more nervous. So you're like, how was that performance? How was it not? Obviously it did go well, which is fantastic, and I was so blown away because I wasn't expecting that at all, but yeah, I just thought it was great because the standard of songs and songwriting that is in Ireland as well is fantastic. You know, everybody on that night was fantastic, and I'm sure the judges had such a hard decision to make. But yeah, again, I left feeling inspired. It was a great night.
There was another wee flame that maybe pushed you on, was it too? You know, that next week. And so the big music project came up. That was around. Was that too? It was an under 18, wasn't it, Gemma?
Yeah, I must have been like 17 or something like that. And,
so this UK wide competition, and how did that all lay out for you?
Yes.
I know you went to London.
We went to London.
London, Giza. You went to London.
We did.
Were you loving London,
Yeah.
And London's just...
It's fantastic. It's such a big place. But I remember kind of going into, it was the Crescent Arts Centre in Belfast, and they were kind of doing like the regional final, and I performed. A young songwriter, so Emma Horn, was there. She's releasing music now. She's a pop artist. She's fantastic. She was there. There's a couple of other bands there. I'll tell you something. JC Stewart was supposed to be there, but he didn't show up. So thanks for not turning up, because I got through that day.
You'd have been grand there, Gemma. No.
But it was really great. And then obviously we got to go to London and then perform at the Indigo and the O2, which is madness. You know, that was one of those really big gigs that you're like,
pro gig.
A pro gig.
And was there wild clipboards about, you know?
Yeah, like we had to.
Everywhere.
Yeah, we had to shoot promo.
To the left, there, please.
To the left.
Go to the right, there, right. Go to the right.
Yeah. So it was a really cool experience, especially experiencing something like that so young. And I think I wouldn't have been able to do that if I hadn't have had like performance experience at the likes of Glasgowbury and Stendhal and places like that. I just thought it was a great experience. We had to shoot promo and things like that, which is crazy. And
was that all new to you,
it was, because you know, there's one thing obviously having a conversation with someone, but then when you have to shoot a thing on video and be yourself, it's quite intimidating when there's a camera in front of your face, and I wasn't as used to that at the time, so I was like, oh no.
I feel that way every time I'm in this here seat.
You love it. But yeah, it was
I'm learning from the master. Kill the master. But that whole experience, you know, the lights, the camera, action, and not a wee buzzer, wasn't it? Just for you at that time. And jump after that, you joined you signed up to BIM in Dublin, which Shay Toho was there as well. And so at the time, I think you were thinking between being a radiographer. Yeah. Isn't that right?
Yep.
Put on the big thing. In here now. And so, which is a fantastic career. So you took the chance and went to BIM. And I suppose, tell me about BIM. I'm aware of it, but maybe the people out there might be aware, you know, young people and the age you start at it, and what the opportunities maybe are within it to go to it, you know.
Yeah, so I guess BIM is a university or where it's all music, you know. It's like Camp Rock. Well, maybe not, actually. I'm not going to associate Camp Rock with that. But if there is any Disney fans, like, you know, it's like Camp Rock but better. But basically, like you go kind of out of secondary school, and you know, get the choice is to to kind of study songwriting. It could be performance, vocals, guitar, drums, keys, things like that. And what I found really good about BIM is the people you meet down there. I was open to a whole nother music community. I met like my first band down there. You know, we did a couple of gigs, we did some festivals together, and I met some lifelong friends as well. And as well, there's loads of information you obviously learn at BIM because you're doing a course as well. It's great that you're playing music, but you're also learning to, you know, you learn about the industry side of things like music management, music business, so that, you know, you're not going to get ripped off or something like that, because you can never be too careful, Paddy.
You can never be too careful. Them dodgy boys and dodgy hats, Gemma, and dodgy big coats on.
Have to watch the hats and coats
and the scarves. But for I know, as you said there's different elements they teach, and that's a good thing, because I suppose if there's progression for certain artists, which there is out of yourself, and there's been a lot of people break out of them, and it's not just in Dublin, I think it's in Brighton as well.
Yeah, so there's one in Brighton, Berlin, Manchester, London, and somewhere else. Dublin.
Inside this building.
Yeah, inside this we're everywhere. But no, it is great because there are so many opportunities and experiences you can get from it. Like, you know, they have their live and lyrical gigs, which are kind of for songwriter and bands, all original music. Then you have your end of term gigs where you can do covers or you can do your own song, and it'll be held in the likes of the Button Factory. So you're on a big stage,
cool venue.
and you're real cool venue, and you get to perform to your peers, and everyone there are musicians. So it's a really cool place to be. I even got the opportunity to play at 1,000 Trees Festival, or 2,000 Trees. 1,000 Trees. I just missed 1,000 there.
No, 1,000 grew just before you come over, because you said, I'm part of your wee writer, I want 2,000 trees.
No, 2,000.
I don't want 1,000 trees. 1,001 tree. How many trees did we want?
We want 2,000
trees.
Funny story about 2,000 Trees Festival. The Wood Burning Savages were there as well that year.
Deadly.
And I was having a nightmare of a day before I went on stage. My string broke. For some reason I couldn't get it on.
You were upsetting yourself, and it was all just building up, was it?
Oh well, it was just because of the string. The strings wouldn't work, and I was like, Paul, ringing Paul, are you here? Where are you at? Can you come change my string? And they saved me like 10 minutes before I went on stage. It was fab. So
brilliant. So Paul Connolly saved you at that moment in time.
Yeah, he did, you know, and I'll be forever grateful.
He done that picture.
Oh,
never be beat, Paul.
Never be beat
Paul. And so the 2,000 trees, but would that would have been your first festival then in the UK?
I think it was.
How was that experience for you? You go in the boat, did you?
Over the boat? No, I went on a plane this time.
Oh, you're posh. You flew in.
Posh, I flew in. No, it was great. Obviously, it's, you know, a lot of rock music and stuff at that festival, but I was on a different stage, a more acoustic kind of stage, where it was so nice. The setting was lovely because you're in the woods, and the audience was lovely. It was just great.
It's one of them smaller festivals that has the right amount of people to get the vibe going. And I'm aware of them from the Association of Independent Festivals, and it's a great festival. And like a lot of festivals like that, you probably wouldn't have been aware of them really, or how to go about applying, you know. And then, I suppose in the early days yourself applying to festivals, you'd have been putting the music in yourself. So, and I'm sure you know now as a radio presenter that there's a way probably of submitting music. But there's still I think it's still good to, I mean, Junior spoke a couple of weeks ago about getting on the Radio Ulster first by just landing with the EP to Jerry, you know. So it's kind of, I think you done that yourself, and you got on them. Body and Soul was a festival that used to be part of Electric Picnic, isn't that right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure, like, coming from after BIM, so you came out, you got your degree. You got your degree.
I was.
And who presented? I know when Shay was there, they always get like a big rock star, don't they, to present it, don't they? Like was it Bob Geldof?
Bob Geldof did it when Shay was there.
Shay was there,
We got a man from Universal Ireland. I think he worked in the publishing or something like that, but I can't remember his name. I'm terrible with names, Paddy.
But he wouldn't have the buzz of Bob Geldof.
Bob Geldof is
I think Shay said it was just like a train. Shake hand, bow, and
in out.
So we got our degree, and we came out of BIM and back up to the north again, and then you got the opportunity to. How did the opportunity for ATL, which for people out there, Cross the Line first started with Mike Edgar back in the day. The different presenters over the years, but the last presenters before yourself would have been Rigsy and Stu Bailey. Because I don't know if Donna Legg done it.
She did. I think when Rigsy started, it was him and Donna.
Yeah.
So they did it together.
Yeah,
as well.
and that was, I mean, for the likes of, because I had been in and out with a few of them, and over the time, and so how did that come about for you? Was it a bolt out of the blue, or did you see something? There was an opportunity, or to get involved in it, or
I mean, yeah,
because you would have grew up listening to it.
I would have,
because it was always about new music. It was always about discovering new talent. It was always about bringing, I suppose, the alt scene that was going on.
Yeah,
and that right in the world that we live in, the live music scene, and all of a sudden you're sitting there, you're listening to it, and you're thinking, why don't they play my demo?
I feel like every musician has had that when listening to the radio.
So I'm just saying what you were thinking at one time. Everybody has it, not right? Like, and so that's irrelevant to that there. But you did get played on it, and Steve McCauley was a great attribute from Electric Mainline, and Stephen was brilliant too. So if and even Mark Patterson in the early days for your own music has been played in Radio Foil. So how did then you all of a sudden come from BIM, songwriting, workshop facilitator, all these things to the BBC?
To the BBC. So I got an email from the producer from the show just asking me if I would just come in for a chat just to talk about maybe like contributing to the show, whether it be doing some write-ups or whether it be coming on air to talk about new music, because they did the tip sheet, which is now called the World Exclusive, where we basically get either a musician or we industry expert in to pick 3 tracks from the uploader and talk about that. And of course I was like, yeah, this is deadly, I want to do that. So
this is where the holy uploader, this is the one where everybody,
this is the uploader.
And so when you go on that uploader as a presenter, I know maybe don't tell me the tricks of the trade, but is it sort of in order, or do you just sort of, somebody listens to a certain genre of music and go, I'll put that on my show tonight and put that show on, or put that on? Or,
no.
I know you have a thing, World Exclusive.
Yeah. We have those. Those are picked by our contributors, that section.
The people that come in presenting to you, talk about gigs and all.
So we have those picked on, but on the uploader, it's just the way I guess it's sorted out. It's just whatever date, they put in, and it's newest to the such and such, and we listen to each and every track every week when we're coming up with the running order for the show, and that's kind of how it's done. But I guess like getting into that as well, I was doing some voice tests and stuff just to make sure I was able to come on air and actually do the tip sheet at the time. So I did that, and that went good. And then I got offered the opportunity to do a co-present at Stanhall with Rigsy.
Yeah, I'd seen you.
With Cormac Neeson, we were interviewing as well. It was like a live stream, and that went really well as well. It was fab. And then
did you enjoy that out and about and among the people at a festival arena?
I did. It was very new to me though, so I was very nervous.
I think you'd be perfectly shaped for Glastonbury, the mighty grandfather of all, to wander around with the microphone and with your BBC chums, and so that experience for you then would have been the first time that you would have been sort of a camera following you as such around, and to get used to that being around you and having to move and look glamorous, I would say, all the time.
I planned those outfits for Stanhall.
You must have been like a ninja. You must have been like, I'm going to practice on the ground, I'm going to practice standing up, I'm going to practice, you were immaculate. I think you're the only person in the whole festival that had got that splash muck effect, at least up to the knee. Now, could you explain to the audience how that was done? Had you get a magic sort of person that came out of nowhere and just cloaked you in an invisible cloak and took you to the next destination in a wheelbarrow or anything like that there?
I floated the whole time. No, I think I just watched where I stepped and just made sure I was very conscious of not getting dirt on my clothes. But again, you're at a festival, so
I know it's a passage of way. It's either going to be really hard on the underfoot, but most of the time in a country like this, it's probably a wee bit mucky. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even the biggest festivals can get hit by that course, and it's a common thing.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, if I hadn't been on camera I would have been rolling around in the mud.
I know you would. I know, because I know you'll buy me one time saying, I'm just so fed up being clean here, I just want to roll around and join the rest of the people. Look over there, Paddy, to that mud hill. 50p a roll. So that's brilliant. Nashville.
Yeah.
So when you hear the word Nashville, you know, you think I suppose a lot of two things: the home of songwriters, the home of country and western, and the old greats. So you had an opportunity to go on a songwriting retreat, isn't that right? To collaborate, like you'd done with Paddy, and so. How's the experience of going to somewhere like that and then, you know, meeting people just random, and you're going to sit down and you're going to take a topic, you're going to look around it, inside it, in front of it, behind it, and then write about it. And who are the people that you sort of worked with out there, and are you still in contact with them? And what came out of it? Did you release any of the songs, or is it like a secret song that's going to come out very soon?
Well, all top secret. Well, no, I think for me, like I'd done a couple of songwriting treats before, but this was kind of on a larger scale because it was international rather than just in Ireland or just over in the UK and London, or you know, so it was different in that sense. When you say international, so was it people from different parts, or just were they all American sort of based, or was there different parts of the world? There's people from so it was more people from like around England, London, Scotland, all over the UK, and then
all the nations,
USA.
Wales, and back in the USA.
So it was people from there, and then everybody kind of flew over, and then there was also US writers as well. So the way it was kind of set up for that week, we all had like our group meeting to say hello and stuff like that.
Was there a motivator brought in the room or anything? You know,
we did have a motivational speaker one morning.
Just give me a wee intro there.
They were early starts, I'll say. We'd be in there at 8 a.m. eating our wee croissant.
I'm John, let's do it. Come on.
And we did have a guy come in and motivationally speak, and I am not a morning person. I was like,
so how did he open up, Gemma? Give us a wee briefing.
I was just like, good morning, guys. Like, you know, very American, very extra. But
did he love everyone in the room?
He loved everyone.
He loved you all.
Yeah, no, it was fab though. But I think it was a good experience, because we were in, you know, each day we'd be in with different writers, and there'd be 3 of us maybe. And the first half of the day, from like 9 to 1, we would kind of get the basics of the song, and then the second half of the day we'd go into the studio and make a demo or a work tape of it, and then that all happened, I guess. And then towards the end, the very last night, we met up again as a group and listened back to them to see what we all had been working on throughout the week. And there was some great songs made. There's actually one of the songs I'm going to be performing later for you guys is one of the songs from the camp.
So tonight we have an exclusive. Can I use the word? I'll just go a Valley exclusive, because we're in the Valley, right? So we'll say a small but massive exclusive tonight.
Yeah,
we have Gemma Bradley's song. What's it called, Gemma?
You'll Never Change. I had to think about that there, Paddy.
Gemma, can I just say to you, you are right. I will never change. So that was a great experience. You also went on a Emerald songwriting one. Was that in Cavan?
That was in Cavan. That was fantastic.
And was that was Irish songwriters from all over there, and north and south, obviously.
Yeah, all over. Ryan O'Shaughnessy put that together. He kind of organised the whole thing, and there's some people I knew there, and there's some people I was meeting for the first time. It was such a good vibe. There was about 10 of us, and we'd rented out.
Because everybody's the same. They want to be there. They want to write. They want to. So
I think it's because of that creative buzz.
A room of energy, of creativity. Yeah.
And same as, like, you know, you'd work on a song during the day, you get a rough kind of demo of it, and then each night we'd sit by the fire and play it for each other. And it was just a good vibe.
Was there?
There were some tears
There
because
was
there were
some
some there were some songs, like there's a song that's been released. Ryan O'Shaughnessy and Fiona Hart put out a song, what is loving anymore, I think it's called, and it is a beautiful song. I remember the first time I heard that song and everyone was like, oh my gosh, like there were some tears because it really gets you in the face.
Well, that's, I suppose, an emotive lyric that hits you, and that's what Junior was saying in the last podcast, which had about a couple of songs that hit him and sort of brought that. But that experience of collaborating and you know, and writing with other writers, is that something you like doing, or was it at any stage, you know, you felt it was kind of, I don't think it'd be awkward for you anyway because you've a good personality, you like to, you know, be around creative people, but was it a good thing or a different thing? Is it something you look to, like I know you obviously with Chad earlier on, you were doing some work with Shay, and you've done the work collaboration you done came out, and was it down in Dublin with the DJs? Malachy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Malachy. He's so Malachy's a rapper. That actually came out about through lockdown. They were putting out, it's actually a vinyl that they've put out now, and they were doing a project, kind of a collaborative EP with loads of different artists, and I was one of those. So there's Matthew Harris, he produces, and then there's Hugh, which is Malachy. He kind of writes the lyrics. He's the rapper behind it, and then they sent me the track and were like, do you want to do something on this? Let me know. I heard the track and was like, love it. Jumping on it now. So, you know, I think with collaboration, it really depends how you gel with the people. For example, I'd never met them before. The first time we met was in Studio 8 down in RT doing a session for Tracy Clifford, and we're like, oh, hi, because we've been chatting online and stuff.
So that was all done sort of not just sending stems to each other, sort of thing.
So me recording the vocals in my room and then sending it across, and then Matthew kind of
it
producing
sounded mighty,
it.
like it sounded.
Thank you.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
It sounded mighty, and so that album, is it for, like you say, like is it for some charity, or was it just a collaboration of different artists just to put themselves out there?
Yeah, just to kind of put themselves out there.
Yeah.
Originally, they wanted to do like a new song every 2 weeks, put it out, but like nobody can keep up with that. That's way too much. So they kind of stretched it out, but it's a really fantastic project. They work with loads of different artists as well, and yeah, it was just a really good buzz. But like I say, that song really suited me. I love the song, and I was inspired the first time I heard it, so I kind of knew what I was going to do. And again, it really depends who you're working with as well, because I feel like a lot of the time when you're writing collaborative, I can't say that word.
Collaborate.
When you're collaborating.
When you collaborate. Try to collaborate.
Yeah.
Try collaborate.
Collaborate. When you're collaborating with people, I think, you know, like I say, you gel with some people more than others, and sometimes that can affect the song. It just clicks, yeah. You know?
It just clicks.
But again, you don't know until you're in the room with someone, so never say no.
Never say never. And these are all great experiences for you, you know. But like, now where you're at, like it's so busy, like, you know, you're a presenter, you're a songwriter, you're a tutor, you're a facilitator, and you're busy even recently doing sort of short ads for stuff, like clothes and different things.
Yeah.
And how do you balance all that, or juggle it, or, you know, do you kind of think, right, I'm going to do this much here, that much, or you just sort of...
You put everything in your diary, every single thing in your diary, so you do not forget a thing, anything. That's kind of half the way you have to do it, and just make sure that things don't overlap. And there's times things have, and I'm like, I'm sorry, we need to reschedule, we need to. But, you know, I think it just comes down to time management and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, it's not easy. It is hard. Like, I know myself, when I first started presenting, I found it hard to juggle kind of music and presenting, because it was new to me, and I obviously was putting so much into the presenting. My music then was taking more of a backseat. But I think now, as I've gotten more used to it, I'm able to kind of keep the momentum with both, and I'm able to manage my time better as well. Yeah,
that's deadly. And so recently Van Morrison was 75 years old. 75.
The big 75.
The big 75. And Hot Press... celebrated that with putting together a lot of different artists from Ireland, and some, like, you were part of the whole gang, and there was Sinead O'Connor was on it, Glenn Hansel. Just the list is just like on and on and on and on and on and on of Irish artists. I know that Terry Hooley and Paul Casey done a song together on it, and there was just so many great artists, so many great people. How did that come about for you? Or did just Hot Press just contact you and sort of...
I got an email in from Hot Press and just asking me if I wanted to be a part of it. There was going to be 74 if I'm 75.
Yeah,
But I think they end up having more than 75
Could
artists.
I say you look younger than 75?
Thanks, Paddy.
Don't
Thanks.
mention it.
So
Like,
nice of
I'm
you.
the more the one pushing to 75.
But yeah, no, I got an email from them asking me if I wanted to be a part of it, and of course I said yes, because why not? It was great to be a part of something like that, and with the kind of song choices and things like that.
Sometimes we cry, isn't
Sometimes
that?
we cry. I mean, it's true. Sometimes we do cry.
Sometimes we do, and we just, and we all cry sometimes.
Me too. And crying's good for the soul.
So crying's good. It is good for the soul, and I'd say there's more crying going on now than ever was crying ever.
Definitely,
if crying was just invented now, there's crying galore. So no, but that was an amazing thing to be in among all the different artists and the stature of the artists, and showing you that over the years you've had a lot of great opportunities, and you've grabbed them with without saying anything too out there. You've hugged them.
Yeah, I've hugged
with
them.
grace.
Yeah.
We're not allowed to hug now, but if we were, look, there, I'm sending you one there now.
There's a hug back.
There's a massive one there. Right. I'll go around the side of this here, right?
Oh, there you go.
That's a massive hug. And and here now where we are is like you've just released recently. You from the first EP, you've had singles released now. You have a single coming.
I do. We're final stages of that. Hopefully, fingers crossed, start of next year. That is the plan.
Brilliant.
But don't hold me to it in case it doesn't happen.
It's okay. No, we won't. Well, you're invited back in any time, to talk about it. But for you at the minute, just the other day, massive news came through that you're the new presenter for Radio 1 New Stevens show. So you've come from a Stoke-on-Trent to small wee D-town. You've graced many stages. You've and been on TV, the TV show, The Lockdown, and your face is out there. And you've modelled for clothes. Holy Jesus, and anything else, you know what I mean? And now from ATL, which also, when you were at the helm of it, won an Emerald Gold Award, which congratulations for that.
Thank you very much.
All your team. And I should say that Rory McConnell is your producer, a gentleman, and I've known him for a long time, and was the Radio 1 introducing DJ back in the day, because they were up at Geebury. So you came into that, and all of a sudden the award, and then did you have to go and do another voice pop for these other dudes in England? Because can I just say that Radio 1, when I was growing up, it still is, it's a huge station for someone from a rural town to get to credit to you. And all the challenges you probably faced all over your time, you've landed over there, and in this building, and anybody involved in us and all the crew here, we are totally behind you and wish you all the best and that move, because Q Stevens show, a huge show, and for new music, because music is your love, and as I say, you probably have more eggs to balance now than ever before.
A lot of eggs in my basket.
So you won't be doing ATL anymore?
No, I will be. So I'm going to be continuing to do both of the shows.
So you'll be doing ATL and
the BBC Introducing show on Sunday nights for Radio 1.
Credit to you. And so that'll, as I say, be the double. You'll be doing the double. You'll be doing the double. Doing the double. You'll be doing the double. Her Majesty's tax service out there. She's doing the double. No, but and it's brilliant because, as I say, could you ever imagine? Maybe a lot of people can't, I suppose, in any journey, till somebody puts you in the spot and asks you about where you were and did you think you would get there, and how did you get there, and what you had to go through, because I'm sure there was lots of things you had to warrior through. But listening to your story there from the beginning to now, you've took on the challenge as well. You've treated them all with respect, and from me knowing you've manners, you've got all that, and as I say, go to the London geezers, take them over, mate. Oh, London geezer. Oh, Gemma. You'll be coming out like something. Oh, Jim. Oh, yeah, I heard you last night. Yeah. Fucking brilliant. They're loving it. And so how does that feel for you now to be there and because I think it's a credit to you. You know what I mean? That you've got that far, and as I say, how does it feel?
Yeah, I mean, it feels amazing. It feels very surreal. I'm still like, you know, I'm still accepting that it's happening, and obviously the word went out the other day. The press release went out, and it was like one of those moments where like it's happening, you know. It's actually out.
It's everywhere, Gemma. I mean, you're saying press release. I know you know, sometimes you see like the local newspapers picking up, but it's like all the newspapers are picking up, and I'm sure even in the Sunday papers, and I'm sure in London the BBC will have a network of things flying out, and I'm sure you'll have to go over and do a launch party, will you?
Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully,
what if they're picking serving them sandwiches that you don't?
I will be staying away from any deviled eggs. No, thank you.
Charles, would you like a deviled egg there, please? I'll have 2 deviled eggs there, please, for Gemma. But look, it's been brilliant chatting to you.
Thanks so much for having
I probably
me.
forgot stuff we were supposed to talk about, and it's a really proud day to have. And as I say, when you're booked to come on this here, and we knew nothing about the big news that probably you knew, or maybe
neither did I.
There you go. And there you are. And so all the best to you in the future. As I say, we're going to. Well, I always do weird things at the end, right? And I was to have a bag here, but I don't even know where it is. There was a bag, wasn't there? Oh, so. So this was supposed to be for you, Gemma, all right? But at the minute, it's with me.
It's with you, Paddy.
I could say to you at this stage, the people out there, I don't drink. So so it's safe with me. So what we're going to do, every time we finish the podcast, Gemma, right? So a couple of weeks ago, we had a wee clap like that there. Okay. Mick Jagger clap, right? And then the last one after that, we had a golf clap. You can try it there. That's very relaxing, isn't it?
It is.
It's very relaxing, just around the middle. So now, with you, I think we'll have a new clap. Okay. And because you like the groove, we'll do a clap on the right.
Oh, okay.
We'll do a clap on the left. Right? So you time it, right? Okay. We could do a samba beat, you know.
Oh, like a, yeah.
But we could.
Let's do it, Paddy. Let's do it.
Let's do it. I can't remember it. Stella, can you remember the samba beat?
Oh, goes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Do it again.
Okay.
What?
Right.
2, 3, 4.
No. Oh, is that the second bit of okay?
I could be doing it wrong if I'm will kill me. Well, thank you very much, Gemma. Hold on, I will present you with this lovely, glorious bottle. You can pop it if you lock it, right? Unlock the pop. So Ken, are you all right there, Ken? Ken, we've got a Ken in tonight here on the camera. Hold on, I'll leave the microphone. So keeping COVID and all that. Gemma, we'd like to present you with this and this.
Thank you very much.
I'll send you a massive hug from here.
Hugging you back. Thank you so much, Paddy.
Thank you again.
Get the headphones on.
Welcome to our third podcast with Gemma Bradley. Oh, did we do it already, Nathan? So I'd like to thank everybody tonight. Gemma, thank you very much for coming.
You.
It's been a great pleasure having you, and I know you're going to have a busy few months ahead of you and life, but I wish you well in all your travels and journeys. Thank you to Nathan and Killian, Jarlath and Tierney and Stella, and one person we mentioned here who's been a great influence on you and one of the best people in the world, part of our committee, is your mammy, Patricia Bradley. We will give her a massive clap there. And as I say, it's great to have a mommy that believes in you.
Yeah.
And she has believed in you from the word go, and she has stuck by you, and credit to her and credit to you. And we're going to shoot over to our side. You're going to do a few wee tunes. And from me to you, to everyone out there, thank you very much.